Greetings biology students, it's me Mr. Cheney with another brilliant tutorial, and this is a pretty simple one. It's a textbook interactivity on cell structure. So we have been doing vocabulary and annotations in the online chapter or online textbook for cellular structure, and now there's an interactivity for that. We've already done an interactivity for prokaryote and eukaryote cells. This is a second step to that process. So right here in Google Classroom, show you where it's at. Bio Unit 5. So we've done vocab and annotations for life is cellular. We've done the interactivity for prokaryote and eukaryote. And we are finishing up today, hopefully, the cell structure vocab and annotation. So that was the big one. That was 13 terms. And so this one right here is the new thing. So once you click on this, it's going to take you directly to the text, and you're going to see this. And as you can see, there are 7 views or slides to go through, and it's all about cell structure. So lots of terms. We're going to go through these terms in many different ways. Don't expect you to know every single detail of every single thing right away, but we need to know the basics. So you're just going to go through. I'll read through this part, and this diagram right here is just kind of showing you the difference and similarities of plant and animal cells. I'll point out that they share most things. The things they do not share is a plant cell has a cell wall and an animal cell does not, and an animal cell has lysomes and plant cells do not. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. One last difference, centriole. An animal plant has that, and the plant does not. So organelles are specialized structures within cells that perform specific functions, such as they act as the cellular control center, they store materials, clean up wastes, and supports the cells, they build proteins, they capture and release energy, and they establish cellular boundaries. Going on to slide number 2 here. Based on this diagram right here, so we have 3 terms, chromatin, nucleolus, and nuclear pores. You're going to answer these 3 questions based on what you see on the diagram. If you need to check your answer once you've put the 3 in, then you can do so there. Reminder, we got to get these answers right because the scores go directly from the textbook to me, and I enter them into Atlas based on what you do in the e-text. Okay, so now we're on number 3. And you'll read through this, and you'll read through these. So they're talking about endoplasmic reticulum, they're talking about ribosomes, and they're talking about the Golgi apparatus. So you want to read those texts right there so that you are familiar with them, and so that you can answer the question right here correctly. Going through here, your answer is going to be in the reading part. So yes, you're going to have to read so that you can get this answer right. So there's only 4 of them, and they talk about vacuoles, they talk about lysomes, they talk about protein filaments in the cytoskeleton, and they talk about centrioles, again, which is only in an animal cell. And slide number 5 talks about organelles that capture and release energies. So this should look kind of familiar. We talked about some of this when we were going through photosynthesis, particularly with plant cells. So again, that should look familiar. Cell boundaries. So this again is where you want to click on these circles, and they're going to tell you about what a cell membrane is, and they're going to talk about cell wall. And these are things that you've done with vocabulary, words, and annotations already, so this should not be new information. And then the last slide is kind of like a game, a quiz game. And so when you start it up, I think, yeah, there's 5 questions, and so the faster you answer, the more points you get, and you'll go through and answer those questions. So that will be it, and like I said, I'll put the score in based on what the e-text tells me, and that's it. That's the interactivity, the new thing for today. I'll see you back in class.